So you know that we are speaking about the Czech Republic and Slovak Republic, which were almost 40 years, and also before like the 20 years one republic. Uh, uh, just small repetition. Last week we were talking about the Roma in the Middle Ages in the Europe, how they were welcomed, and after when they were like declared the outlaws, and also they were suspected like the spies of the Turks and of the Tatars. So the persecution started. It also has influence on this the church, who wasn't considering Roma like too much the Christian, because Roma were coming with own culture and own the crafts. For example, one of those was like the reading of the fortune of like from the palms, and Roma were very different like than those the European the people, and so this is going like this, uh, and just very briefly, you remember that I was talking that in the Czech lands and in Germany also, uh, Roma were getting cut their ears and noses, and the men were hanged like directly. Uh, when we were entering the city, there were such like the warning boards, later also the women and children were also were also punished by the death. Maria Theresia also was like the persecuting and Roma, and after is coming the time of the Enlightenment. So here she is coming with idea like to make new people of the gypsies. So the Neubauer in those countries there was spoken German language, and Uymagyar in Hungarian speaking land. So it was like new Hungarians, and also the assimilation, the process was like was like or aim of this was like to change the Roma, but we have I just didn't mention uh, what were the reasons of this. One reason was also economic, because uh, in some parts Roma were like the constituting like, like the bigger communities. The so Maria Theresia, she wanted to make of them like the taxpayers, and also the another reason was, and also an interesting thing was that the assimilation always was failing of the Roma up to nowadays, that the system and all government and all ideologies, they were wanting like to change the Roma, but they never were allowing enter like their like the cities, or their or or their companion, or how to say, like simple to say, they were not allowing Roma to live together. So, for example, Maria Theresia, she wanted Roma to assimilate, but she was creating the settlements in Hungary, in Slovakia, and Roma were living apart, aside, the segregated from the rest of the society. So this is Maria Theresia, and I have to also to mention in the scope of the Europe, Roma in the 19th century are coming in 1855, in 1856, in Romania, in Wallachia, in Moldavia. Sorry, if you can mute your mic, some of you. Yes, so thank you. I have to say that in 1855, 1856 is ending the slavery of Roma, and Roma are moving to the Western Europe. And here is also that in Spain and in or like earlier in Spain and in Portugal, many Roma are deported to the Latin America, like for the punishment, or also like the power on the boats. Yes, and also want to say that here it's very important to look on the map of Europe before like the first uh, before the First World War. You can see here Germany, Russian Empire, Austrian-Hungarian Empire. You cannot see on the map, for example, Poland. Romania is not as we know this date like today. And after the war, you can see that there are new states, new the modern state project like Yugoslavia, Romania, Hungary lost like the so much like the land. You can see almost more than half of the lands had Hungary lost, and this all had also effect influence on the Roma, because the Roma people were Roma, as you remember we were speaking about the Roma communities, which aren't limited o- only by the region, uh, only by like the one place, but also some of the communities uh, who were now limited by the new borders of the new states. Uh, uh, on the on, on the place where before were existing open space of the in frame of the empire. So it had also, and here I am speaking about the new Czechoslovakia. New Czechoslovakia was the consisting of the area of the today Czech Republic. You can see Slovakia and the uh, uh, and the Transcarpathia and the Ukraine. Uh, you already remember I was mentioning you the Roma groups in Czechoslovakia, the Czech Roma, Moravian Roma, and Hungarian Roma on the south, and Eastern Slovakian Roma, who are who are the majority now in the Czech Republic, and also they are living in the UK. You are meeting them. Uh, Here in the how looked the life of the Roma. I'm sorry, does somebody of you have open your mic? If you can mute it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, good. And and uh, here you can see that we know that the Czechoslovak Republic, the first Czechoslovak Republic, was very popular for like democracy and but for the Roma it was very strange because uh, the Czechoslovak Republic accepted the law on the wandering the gypsies in 1927, which was, according to this law, every Roma man and woman in the age of the 14 had to have the gypsy legitimation. You can see here it was some kind of like ID, but it was the legitimation for the people, and they had to uh, had to show themselves on the police station. They had to have their all like the fingerprints, and this law was also racistically motivated against Roma also, who were nomadic. And this law also offered to the Czechoslovak like the official institutions the data, and these data were misused during the Second World War. But uh, I, I am going too much like the further, so I am coming back to to the First Republic, which was created in 1918, and it was lasting for 20 years. And here you can see like picture from the news, Tomáš Holomek was first Roma who studied law in, 1936 at the Charles University in Prague, and he was coming from the Moravian Roma, whom you heard last week that they were integrated already from the 17th, from the 17th the century. And also you can see here, as I was saying, that Czechoslovakia accepted the law about the wandering gypsies. Here is, for example, you can see that this is like the board of, the town, uh, of the village, the Dubňany, and here is written like to enter and or like the for the gypsies is enter forbidden. So it was true that Roma really they couldn't enter the cities which were bigger, or cities there were like the spa, or like this. Yeah, and in Slovakia, as I was saying, was totally different situation. Roma in Slovakia were settled since the Middle Ages already, and and the Bad Roma were living in the settlements. You can see also here Roma settlement, which were apart the like from the villages, and uh, they had the poor the quality of the houses. You can see here uh, uh, houses built of the bricks made from the mud. It was called in Romanes like the Valky. It, 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 it were made the bricks which weren't like mud. Uh, 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 Pardon. La, uh, unburned the unburned the like the bricks the made of the mud. And we will speak about this when we will have like the traditional how like the life the later. And here it's important to say that in Slovakia was relationship between Slovak farmers and the Roma, because Roma were helping on the fields of the Slovak farmers, and Slovak farmers were providing them with the food, and was helping them in the winter so that they could survive. And also very interesting, important thing is to mention that Roma in Slovakia, uh, like before the Second World War and also shortly after Second World War, were having the monopoly on in 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 the musician, uh, pardon, in the music making. So Roma also contributed like to the development of the Eastern Slovaks, the folklore, and not only Eastern Slovak, but also in Russia, in flamenco. But we will speak about it also in another session. And uh, here, as I said, it was like a bit better. However, those people were living in very big poverty. You know that in 1933, Adolf Hitler took the power, and from the Czechoslovak Republic, which you could see here, is becoming this. Like the Czech lands are occupied, like the borderland of today's republic are absorbed into the Reich, in, into the German Reich, and Slovak Republic joined Hitler, like the Germany, and whereas the Czech state later became the protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia, and the Transcarpathian Ukraine that became part of the Hungary. So here is also important to say that when it totally like changed the lives also of Roma who were also were persecuted in Slovakia. Started this that all Roma lost like their home law. I don't know if you understand me home law, but I really don't know how to translate it in English. And it is like something that you cannot already have like the permanent address. You are not allowed like to live in the village or in the city, and Roma had to hide themselves. They had to live uh, at least like hidden, or they had to be hidden at least 2 kilometers from the way they couldn't enter the villages only in some times which later was restricted. uh, uh, at these times, the Roma also, for example, in the western Slovakia, uh, uh, there were happening like the uh, like the pogroms against the Roma settlements. They were also like the burned alive. Slovakia still up to now doesn't speak about that. They were some uh, like the force uh, like the force uh, the labor camps. I have to also say that Roma in Slovakia were well integrated in rural society. Roma were having also like their business. This everything was like the confiscated, and also Roma were also members of the army. Important is to mention Eva Justin. Eva Justin, she was a German woman. She was a nurse originally, and she spoke Romanes, and she was having the contacts with the Sinti in Germany, and she did her PhD. PhD, the thesis. You can see here like the title of her the PhD thesis, and she was she, uh, she was devoting herself with uh, uh, with the Nazi racism, the science. So, for example, here you can see children, Roma children in orphanage in Morfingen in Germany. There were 39 children, and she was testing them. She was measuring noses, eyes, uh, like the shape of the head. Here you can see a Roma man, and she is making him uh, like the uh, like the mask of his face, and she really prepared something like a tool uh, how to how to recognize a gypsy. And this was like to how to send Roma to the concentration camps. And uh, she really spoke Romanes. She had access to the Roma community. She had even a Roma nickname, like the which means she was respected there. And and this is why the Sinti community aren't sharing their language anymore. So yes, this, and now I am coming back to the Czech lands. In Czech lands were open to like the concentration camps, Hodonín near Kunstadt, which was here, and the Lety near Písek. It were two camps which were run which were run by the Czech the protectorate, the government. And it's very interesting. We will speak about also later in the terms of emancipation, because you can see that these houses were simple, the wooden. It had the capacity around like the 500 people, and in both of them uh, were concentrated more than 1,300 people, and they were also beaten. They didn't receive enough food. They imagine that in in one camp uh, there were 1,300 people, and they had o- only two dry toilets. Uh, so it means there was epidemic of the typhus. In Lati, 326 people died, and in Hodonin, 194. In both camps were born over 30 children, and none of them survived. Uh, Here is also important to say that the people who survived were deported to Auschwitz-Birkenau in 1942, in December 1942, when Himmler gives order that Roma should be deported to Auschwitz-Birkenau, and there was like decided about the final solution. Here you can see this. Uh, the brown, the triangle, which were having the Roma, and and in the and they were also in the concentration camp in Auschwitz-Birkenau. In Auschwitz-Birkenau, it's very interesting. I don't know why. That the men and the women who uh, uh, they were divided, and Roma not. In Auschwitz-Birkenau was one Roma gypsy, or like the gypsy family camp, uh, and there were Roma, like all families, the concentrated. I have to say that in the Auschwitz-Birkenau, there were concentrated the 23,000 Roma. It's very worthy to mention this idea that Romani resistance. Uh, in 1944, Roma they found out that they should be sent to the gas chambers, and they prepared themselves for resistance. They had everything like the tools, like the showers, and when the SS, the soldiers knew about it, they were afraid like to go inside, and they were trying to keep it uh, in silence, this could because this was the revolt, and it scared the German soldiers if the if other if other barracks in Auschwitz would learn it, they could defeat them. So uh, this is every 16 May Roma in Europe are are uh, are reminding Roman resistance. These people they they uh, 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 they prolonged their life only 3 months, but still 3 months. But we up to now haven't heard like the group of people in concentration camp uh, organized the revolt. This is like the big things, and unfortunately, it's coming after the August, the second August, when the people like divided uh, uh, the young men and healthy healthy people who were able to work, and they deported them to other German concentration camps, and the rest, like the mothers with children and old people, on the 2nd August of the uh, uh, at night, from the 2nd August to the 3rd August, who were killed in the gas chambers, almost 4,000 people. There are some mentions in the book, the memories. One of them was written, mentioned that uh, it was one of the hardest, uh, like the group, like to kill, because those people, they really didn't want to go to the gas chambers, and they were really uh, really trying to fight the for themselves up to last moment. And the second is also very sad. It was like the one day before, and one Jewish uh, uh, the, the survivor, who was saying that uh, among those Roma was one Roma who was a musician, and they gave him an instrument, and he was playing, and he knew about this, and so he was playing a sad, the song, and they were singing it. And after this, when they uh, 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 when they woke up, the gypsy camp, like this barrack, uh, it was empty. There was anyone. So, the killing of the Roma, it wasn't only in Auschwitz-Birkenau, but it was also in Jasenovac in Croatia, where Ustasha were killing the Serbs, Jews, and Roma, also in the Sobibor, in Belgium, in Treblinka, in Babiar, the where Roma were also like the killed, during 2 or 3 days. Uh, there were killed in total, Roma and Jews, around 30,000 people. So it were very sad, and even I cannot understand how this system, how it could run. I know, I can speak a lot about this, but I don't. I think that the best is if you, for example, I recommend you like to watch this documentary movie. It is available on YouTube. Uh, uh, it's called. It is originally Romanian, uh, the documentary movie, but the documentary movie is subtitled in English. So I recommend you to watch it because it is one of the best documentary movies I have ever watched, and it is it is about the Roma in Romania, where Antonescu, uh, uh, like the sent like around the 25,000 Roma to the Transnistria, and that they were dying in the cold, in the hunger, and I recommend you to watch it. Uh, you can see it. I also can recommend you like this book of Ian Hancock. Ian Hancock is a Roma man. He is a professor. He lives in Texas in the U.S., and he has published many articles. And this book of his is one of the most known, which he wrote, and he's describing their uh, like history of Roma suffering, from the early ages in Europe. Uh, he is describing the deportation of Roma to the Americas, and also Holocaust, and uh, you can see it. And if you and here is also the book, uh, which is called A False Dawn: My Life as a Gypsy Woman in Slovakia. It is very beautiful. The biography, which was originally recorded in Roman language, it was translated in Czech. it was published book in Czech language, and it's also in English. In English, in English, the translation. And I recommend you to all of you to read this book, who are working with Roma children and community from Czechia and Slovakia, because this is like the description of Roma woman, from her being born up to her elder ages. And you can, it's very ethnological book. You can see their Roma traditions, you can see their also the story of the Second World War, because uh, 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 this woman was born in 1920s. So you can see her there. You can see there very nice history of the Roma in Slovakia and in Czechoslovakia as well. And you can, and Elena Laskova, or Ilona Laskova, her name is Elena Laskova. She's very popular because she's one of the first uh, uh, Roma writers who were writing in Romanes. She even she's also one of the first people who are speaking about that, what they experienced during the Second World War. And she made the theater ensemble. It was called Horiaci Tábor, uh, which I would translate like a burning camp. And yes, and also I would recommend you to buy this book if you are working like teachers or people in NGO organization meeting these children, because this is just something which will help many Roma children, and not only children but also adult people, uh, like not to be ashamed for own Roma identity. And uh, as I was saying that uh, the original Roma in Czechia and in Moravia, in Bohemia and Moravia, or original Czech Roma, the 90% of them were exterminated in the concentration camps. They were in the beginning 6,500, and only 560 people that came back. There was also, and in Slovakia was, as I was saying, Roma were hiding themselves in the forest. Uh, I have to say that Roma also joined like the partisans. They also contributed to the Slovak national revolt. Or I'm sorry. And in the end of my this presentation, I want to play you the one song, which is Auschwitz at the Hinkerbaro, which means in the Auschwitz is big house, and it is really a song which was composed in Auschwitz, and the Roma people from Hungary, Czechia, Slovakia, France, Germany, Poland, and Ukraine. We know about this song, and it is like the reminder of the uh, of the concentration camp in Auschwitz. And also, I can tell you about the lyrics before I play it. It is in Auschwitz. There is a big barrack or house, and there is sitting my boyfriend. He's sitting, and slowly he is forgetting about me. He is saying, or you blackbird." The blackbird in Roma folklore songs means like the dead. It's like symbol for the dead. And he's like the saying, "Oh, you blackbird, send the letter to my uh, to my girlfriend that I am sitting in Auschwitz arrested." And he is saying there. He continues, "In Auschwitz we have big hunger. We have anything. We we haven't anything to eat, and, and the capo is very bad." And after he's saying, "And when I will go out of this, I will kill the capo." So I'm going to play you uh, uh, like the short. from the one movie, which was directed by Roma, Roma director.